Late Night Health continues. During our second hour, we're going to spend some time with Eric Rosenthal. He's a special health reporter. We're going to talk about roadblocks to health, nurses, receptionists, and what do you do, especially if there's an emergency. We'll find out about that with Eric Rosenthal coming up next hour here on Late Night Health. And if you don't get it, the second hour, that is, you can always check us out at latenighthealth.com. We go to one of my favorite people in the world, and that is Robert Clancy. He always has, listen to this, his laugh. No, he's not.
It's always there.
It's always there. He's got such a great laugh, and we always enjoy him. Well, Robert was on vacation with his family, extended family, friends. I think I bought tickets for the whole boat. The whole ship was for Robert. Are vacations really important to take, Robert, do you think?
Absolutely, and it's a good reminder of a couple of things. So that is my inspirational thought for today, is on vacations. And while I was on my vacation, I thought of this. Too little of a good thing, and sometimes you're left wanting more. And too much of a good thing, and then sometimes you become bored.
Yeah.
And, that's why the universe is there to remind you that you need to seek balance. And we think about, last year we went on a 10-day cruise, and it was just a little too much.
That was in the Mediterranean, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, part of it, actually we had two. One was in the spring. We actually went to the Caribbean, and that was a 10-day cruise. But this year we took a 7-day cruise. It was actually, 7.5. It left on Sunday and came back on a Sunday.
Got it.
So it was technically 7 days. And it was just enough, because right at the tail end of that, you're kind of like, I miss our house. So I want to get home. There's a lot of work to planning a vacation, packing everything up, getting everybody going. And one of the things that we did this year, and we did last year as well, is that each dinner that we had on the cruise, we would have a different topic each night. And one was, the start of it, what things are you thankful for, and what do you appreciate being on this with the family? And the last night was, what was your highlight of the week, and what are you looking forward to when you return? Because, at the end of a vacation, you're usually left with that, it's over, now I got to go back to school, I got to go back to work. And the kids, my son actually said, I'm looking forward to going back to school to see everybody and to get back into the swing of things.
Wow.
Instead of because it was just enough time to rest. And it was a great thought because you'd think it would be the opposite. I want to extend this for another 3 weeks. But
I know personally, I would get bored after 3 weeks. I'm trying to plan an extended vacation because I've never been away for 3 weeks, and it would be done maybe at the end of this year, beginning of next year, maybe next spring. We're not sure exactly when, and in doing it, of course, I got to find the money first, but that's another story. But in doing it, my wife said to me, if we're gone that long, she said, you're going to be bored. You just are going to be bored out of your mind. Have you ever gone away for that long a period of time?
I have had, just extended vacations. We've gone away for 2 solid weeks, and you do kind of get into, unless there's a lot of activity that you're doing every day, and you start getting tired. I was away for 10 days in Italy and France, and at the end, it was like the last 3 days, the family, it was our exchange students' family from last year, they wanted to take us to see everything, and I said, you guys look tired too. Maybe you need a break. And they took a big sigh, and they're like, I said, let's just sit by the ocean today and just walk down and we're fine.
Sure.
They were fine with that. And they kind of, I think, appreciated it on another level. So, if you do go way too long, it can be too much sometimes.
And what about business travel? I know people who think that when they travel for business, their spouses or friends think, oh, my gosh, he gets to go to Vegas for a week. Or in my case, I was at Disney World. I saw one sign and one Mickey Mouse sign when I was in Orlando. I was inside every day going to seminars, and then at night I walked down the street, to get something to eat, a restaurant, and I was exhausted. I really was by the end of the day.
Yeah, and it can be. There's a lot of things that go into not only planning a trip or a vacation or a business trip. It takes a lot out of you to travel. So there is that part, as much as you're going to get potentially rest on it. And I was on a business trip last year, and everybody's like, "Wow, you're getting to go on a cruise, in the fall, and you're going to be speaking on the cruise, and what an amazing." There were times, where we had a little bit of downtime, but I'd say 80% of it was spent in the meeting rooms within the ship, so I never even got to see the whole ship.
Yeah, I was at a great little hotel. It's not so little in Orlando, set up for conferences and seminars and things like that. And I went from my room to the seminar rooms. We all got lost going to the various seminar rooms. There were so many people; they had to extend find new venues within the hotel for us. But it was exhausting. Everybody I talked to said the same thing. There's a lot of mental overload. So that was on a business trip, but on a vacation, like to Italy. You want to go to Positano, and you want to go to Rome. You want to go to Milan. You want to hit, where was Michelangelo? Where did he live? I'm looking at Daryl, and he's shaking. I can't remember. But Venice, not Venice, but you want to go to Venice. And you're only there for 8 days, Is that the kind of overload at a vacation you're talking about?
Yeah, if you do, you have to plan carefully. And when I went to Italy, we were just in Milan and Verona. And trust me, that was plenty to see in the 10 days we were there. We also got to the French Mediterranean. So it was a good rest in between, but there was a lot of driving, a lot of traveling, just getting around there. And, every time that I'm on vacation, I'm always reminded that life is not about trying to find a peaceful place among the chaos of your life. It's about seeking solitude within yourself and within your own heart. And I always look for the small moments. And one thing that I really enjoy when I go on vacation is just the beauty of this planet, from the architecture to nature to the diverse people that you meet. And I make it a point to talk to people when I'm traveling. I always ask them where they're from, what their interests are, different things like that. And I met a lot of people, over the past week. So it was quite, a great trip to meet these different individuals from all over.
But don't you also do that when you're at the supermarket, Robert?
I do. And that's the point. You can actually experience your mini vacations every single day if you just take that moment of rest, take things in, think about what you're thankful for, have your gratitude moments, and really just enjoy the people and the diversity that we have on this planet.
I had one exceptional experience while I was. I had many exceptional experiences. I met several people. One we're going to be talking to in a little bit about roadblocks to healthcare that this young man has experienced recently, and we'll find out about that. And he and I just connected. It was a good connection, but I reconnected with some of our friends that we used to hang out with in the Southern California area, and they left the country. They moved to Costa Rica. We had them on the show a couple years ago talking about healthcare in Costa Rica, and then now they live in just outside of Orlando, Florida. And it was like I hadn't seen them since yesterday afternoon. And we just reconnected that quickly. It's amazing when that happens.
Absolutely, yeah. And these connections that just get rekindled instantly, almost as if, there was a time warp between them. You could be many years apart, but then as soon as you reconnect with somebody's soul, and I call it those soul hitches, when you take that ride on another person, they remind you of things, from not only from your past, but how much you've changed or have grown over the years.
Yeah, absolutely. And we hadn't seen each other, I don't know, close to 15 years. And it was just like yesterday. It was fun. It was a real blast to be able to do that. We are talking with Robert Clancy, the author of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Soul. Sometime in May, Robert's going to tell us about his new ventures in radio, audio, TV, internet, all that. That'll happen sometime in, I think, May or June. He has a lot going on. Right now, we are talking about vacations. Do you ever take mini vacations, Robert, like a 10-minute or 20-minute nap in the afternoon?
When you can fit them in, yes. Just don't catch me at my desk.
Yeah, exactly.
But the mini vacations happen also in your mind, and you need to take those little moments of pause, get up, walk away from your desk, take a mini break, and then come back. You'll often find that if you're stuck on a problem or something, those mini vacations will help with that.
Do you remember reading Maxwell Maltz and his stuff? You know, No?
No, I don't. I'm not familiar.
Well, he was the guy who said, if you have a problem, you ask the problem, forget about it, and the answer will come to you within 24 hours.
I believe that. And,
I do,
and
too.
Often I sleep on it, and your brain just gets a reboot, and then it's like processing at night while you're sleeping, and it solves the problem. I often find that, there's the answer. Why didn't I think of approaching it that way? And I do a lot of, as you know, I'm a coder as well. I am a programmer, so understanding and solving that problem. And you get in those catch-22 in the code, and there's always a solution. It just takes you sometimes that 24-hour rest to figure it out.
Isn't that an interesting dichotomy, Daryl? We have the spiritual guy who, advises people, and at the same time he codes and builds websites and apps.
And makes things do exactly what you tell them to do.
Yes.
So this is it's not functioning properly. Well, unfortunately, it's doing exactly what you told it to do. That's the way computers work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then Robert has to spend that time rebooting the brain. Taking a little mini vacation. We're going to continue our conversation about vacations with Robert Clancy, the author of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Soul. As I said earlier, we're going to be talking about gatekeepers to healthcare during our next hour, and we'll wrap up today's show with the author of Making Your Mind Magnificent. I'd just like to be average. I mean, let's face it, that would be a help. I'm Mark Allen, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. Don't go away, because Robert, Daryl, and I return as Late Night Health continues.
The experts at Web.com want to build your business a successful website for free, just like we did for these current Web.com customers.
We've looked at other website designers. There's nobody better than Web.com.
Web.com can build your website in as little as 7 days free. Plus, we'll promote it on all the major search engines. If after 30 days you're happy, we'll continue to provide promotion, hosting, support, and maintenance, all for one low monthly fee. If not, cancel and pay nothing.
If you're in business and you don't have a web presence, you won't be taken seriously.
Call right now and you'll also get a free .com or .net domain name for your new website, powered by VeriSign, the world's leading domain name provider.
No upfront charge for site build, after which ongoing fees apply. Rights to site are relinquished when canceled. Domain included during active service, after which fees apply.
800-489-8751. 800-489-8751. 800-489-8751. That's 800-489-8751.
Attention users of the blood-thinning drug Xarelto. If you took the drug Xarelto and experienced complications such as cerebral hemorrhage, gastrointestinal bleeding or other internal bleeding, or if a loved one has died after taking Xarelto, you may be eligible to get a cash award for your suffering. Call the Xarelto Help Hotline now at 1-800-264-3150. That's 800-264-3150. To qualify for a cash settlement, you must file a claim before the deadline. So don't miss your opportunity for a cash settlement. Call 800-264-3150 now for a free, no-obligation consultation. Our call center is open 24/7. So if you took the drug Xarelto and experienced cerebral hemorrhage, gastrointestinal bleeding, or other internal bleeding, or if a loved one has died after taking Xarelto, call the Xarelto Help Hotline now at 800-264-3150. 800-264-3150. That's 800-264-3150.